I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. You've heard of animals chewing off a leg to escape a trap? That's an animal kind of trick. A human would remain in the trap, endure the pain, feigning death that he might kill the trapper and remove a threat to his kind. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? To determine if you're human, be silent. It burns. Silence. His world emptied of everything except the hand immersed in agony. He thought he could feel skin curling black on that agonized hand, the flesh crisping and dropping away until only charred bones remained. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Pain. Pain. It stopped, as though a switch had been turned off. The pain stopped. Enough! Take your hand from the box, young human, and look at it. Do it! He jerked his hand from the box, stared at it astonished. Not a mark. No sign of agony on the flesh. He held up the hand, turned it, flexed the fingers. Pain, she sniffed. A human can override any nerve in the body. Ever sift sand through a screen? We Bene Gesserit sift people to find the humans. Paul felt that he had been infected with terrible purpose. He did not know yet what the terrible purpose was. Why do you test for humans? To set you free. To set you free. Free? Once, men turned their thinking over to machines in the hopes that this would set them free. That only permitted other men with machines to enslave them. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind.
Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Progress Report. I am here with Jeremy Hambly of The Quartering. I'm sure he needs no introduction. World famous YouTuber and drama merchant, Magic the Gathering enthusiast. We're still waiting on Sargon. I have messaged Caleb, his secretary, I guess, a bunch, and I haven't heard back this morning, so I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully he shows up. I've been talking to him for like 3 weeks about this, and he was supposed to be on 2 weeks ago, and when he had to reschedule, they messaged me and were like, we got it. So I don't know. Usually they're really on top of this kind of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe the power's out. Maybe Putin nuked the UK, and I just haven't been following the news this morning. But we'll see what happens. How are you doing, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm sorry it's just me, but yeah, I'm doing well. It's Saturday afternoon.
Who showed up.
There he is.
Hello,
All
gents.
right. We got the whole crew here. Hello, Carl. Welcome to the show.
It's good to speak to you again.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's been a while since last time, isn't it?
Yeah, we had you on Sex Wars about, I don't know, it's been a good 6 or 7 months at least. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, it has been a while.
I remember it being good chat, though, so.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you back. Happy to have Jeremy first time on the channel, so warm welcome everybody to the Quartering. Carl, welcome back. Happy to have both of you here. Looking forward. If you guys don't know about this new show I'm doing, it's basically a clip show where we watch video clips and then we give our thoughts and opinions on those. So don't feel like you have to have an opinion on every single clip. But if you do want to just chime in, as soon as you start talking, I'll pause the video. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get into it, or should we just get right into it?
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going, man? Haven't spoken to you in ages either.
Yeah, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, really
well.
good, man.
Yeah, I saw you on the roast. Every time I see a new picture of you, it's like that movie Thinner. I feel like you've like been cursed by some witch, and it's getting a little uncomfortable for me to see you so thin.
I wish it was a curse. It's actually lots of hard work. A curse would be so much easier, man.
I know. Well,
so
I'll
much
take
easier.
a curse for like a little bit. You know, like I've always said that about like. I said, well, you know what? Like, I think I could deal with a tapeworm for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just like, I'm eating everything I want. I'm still losing weight. And then like, eventually it'll probably be some negative side effects of tapeworms.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I saw you did a video about Sydney Watson being on an airplane stuck between two like fat people.
Oh my God. Yeah. Did you see the mainstream media picked it up last night?
Yeah. I mean, if that's not a good kind of, just where it shows where we're at, you know, in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. The New York Post even called her saying she was fat shaming. I'm like, bro, she wasn't saying they're bad humans because they're fat. She's saying like my body is being touched by sweaty folds of strangers against my will. That's not fat shaming.
Although I've got to say, I'm in a position now where I feel I can start fat shaming, so I think I might.
Well, you know, remember your roots, Carl. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Why would the state of Arkansas step in to override parents, physicians, psychiatrists, endocrinologists who have developed guidelines? Why would you override those guidelines?
Well, I think it's important that all of those physicians...
Hang on. So John Stewart broadcasting from 1939 Germany.
Right.
why would you step in when Mr. Mengele has guidelines? What's your problem here?
Yeah, it's really the appeal to authority, isn't it?
Oh, it's incredible.
And then when she says she has her own experts, it gets even better.
She looks side note, she looks like an old version of the chick from The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dwight's like
Dwight's
squeeze.
girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh, Angela. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
All of those experts,
But hang on,
for
before
every
we go on
single
then,
one
like,
of them.
The thing, I mean, just the very question, John is placing the experts as some fucking priestly class who have read the stars or something, right? As if the experts haven't been wrong enough in the last couple of years. You know, what have they not been wrong about in the last 2 years? So it's just one of those things where it's like, John, this is archaic to say, oh, but what the experts?
Well, isn't he? He's really on a bit of a, he's on a self-flagellation tour right now, where he's like disavowing all his old jokes, and he's like, definitely people don't. It's like the 4 out of 5 dentists agree thing. Like, what does that other person know? Especially with this weird orthodoxy around chopping body parts off teenagers. It's weird that anyone would like simp for that.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on this too, but I want to wait till he says a certain part. But
if just a quick thing then, like, interestingly, I'm also going around disavowing my enjoyment of Jon Stewart's jokes.
Me too.
It's weird how that's a mirror image on the right as well as the left, isn't it?
Yeah, he's really embraced full throttle progressivism lately, right? He's doing this new Apple show, The Problem with Jon Stewart, and the first episode was The Problem with White People.
Well,
what is the problem with Jon Stewart?
Yeah, well, it's like he realized that he better get back in line. Yeah, I always gave him a little bit of leeway because he used to be like a more reasonable liberal. Yeah, like I identify with a lot of things he said, 15 years ago. Yeah. And then now it's like, oh, Jon Stewart, he was actually questioning the Pope, if I remember correctly, like on a late night talk show host at one time. And now, like, oh, he does some good things for the 9/11 victims and soldiers. And then he just manages to erase all his goodwill in one new special. Yeah.
There's an expert that says we don't need to allow children to be able to take those medications.
Come over here,
that there are many instances where.
But that's not true.
He worships a heretical god. he worships Asherah, and I worship Yahweh. This guy's a fucking heretic, says Jon Stewart. Fuck off, John. God, it's already insufferable.
These are the established.
Well, I don't know that's not true. I don't know that.
The funny thing about
What is the true God?
The thing about this clip too is that this went like super viral on Twitter. The liberals. This is kind of their answer to the Matt Walsh. This is like their guys owning our guy as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
They love this.
Then why would you pass a law then if you don't know that that's true? Wouldn't you?
Well, I know that there are doctors and that we had plenty of people come and testify.
Stop. There's so much in every fucking sentence. It's like, well, why would you pass a law stopping us from chopping off a child's body part if you don't know that it's actually
that's
not
why you
always
do
good
it.
in all circumstances? Yeah, exactly. No, John, you've got this completely the wrong way around. How about we take the prudent option of not chopping off the body part until we're sure? Fucking hell.
Yeah, we live in this time period where there's all these like really controversial issues you're confronted with, and then you're told kind of like, well, trust the experts; they know what's best in this. But I don't think this woman is necessarily the best person to debate this issue. I'm not saying I would do necessarily better either, but like there's people who have really dug really deep into all the science and stuff
Matt
like
Walsh
that.
would have done better.
Yeah, probably. And so she's not necessarily the best person, but she has reached like the right conclusion as far as I'm concerned, which is you don't over medicate kids just because they're a little bit depressed or whatever. You don't start doing these extreme interventions.
And that's like the lowest bar of entry as well. Don't give them too much ADHD medication. Then you go right the way up to mutilating them. It's like, fucking hell, man.
I always talk about when I talk about this, is like, wait, like, we're about getting to that time now where all the kids that were on ADHD stuff, like this insanely high percentage of them, they're going to start to see if there's any long-term effects or if there's any, like just like with all these kids, like, oh, just give them the puberty blockers. It's just like a stop sign. Planned Parenthood says there's no long-term effects. Just
Bullshit.
15 years from now, we're going to start to see, in my opinion, some big lawsuits where kids are going to start suing their parents. Like, mark my words.
Or the doctors.
It's already begun.
Or the
happening
doctors,
there.
yeah.
There was a lawsuit from a woman who, when she was 16, had a double mastectomy, and she sued. She took some sort of legal action, and a high court upheld it, and then they appealed. So it's currently still going through the court process. But she was initially successful because they'd given her a double mastectomy, and she was like, well, I mean, I wasn't challenged in any way, shape, or form. And really, I was a depressed teenager. And now I'm scarred for life and I've lost my breast. Kira Bell, I think her name was.
Right. Yeah. That's in the UK.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask you about, Carl, is because I know, like, in the early days of your YouTube career, you were really pushing, like, the idea of reason and rationality. And it's not like I'm expecting you to disavow reason or anything, but when I want to go that far, but it's like when I look at this video clip, I kind of see like Jon Stewart. He's sort of like the beacon of reason and rationality of like, we have to look at all the data, and the data says that this produces better outcomes. And where it's more like this woman, she's just going with her gut. You know what I mean? But again, to me, she's right. So I just wonder if you think there's what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, on my business cards, I'm billed as an anti-science activist. So
okay.
No, I'm joking. Obviously, I'm not. Well, yeah. This is the problem is the conceit of everyone involved. It's the assumption, we can know all of these things, and actually, it turns out that the world is hideously complicated, and you get loads of unintentional consequences from things that you do and think, well, I can just do this and everything will be fine. It's like, well, no, you get all these unexpected consequences, and some of them can be quite grim. And so actually making as small a move as possible that affects as little as possible is actually the right thing to do in almost every circumstance.
Our legislature, who said that, we have 98% of the young people who have gender dysphoria, that they are able to move past that. And once they have the help that they need, no longer suffer from gender dysphoria. 98% without that medical treatment.
That's an incredibly made up figure.
Oh, fuck off, Joe! Fuck off, you fucking liar! Sorry, this is just annoying me now. I saw parts of this clip going around, but I didn't watch it because I'm just done with dealing with Jon Stewart, and I know why now. Fuck off.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that's a real figure from an actual study, right? So now, if you Google like what percentage, you'll get a range, because that 98%, that's like the highest one that's been found. Other studies have found as low as 64%. So you have a range of like 64 to 98. But for him to just say, oh, well, that's made up without actually looking into it, it kind of shows the folly of where he's at mentally, which is, I'm just going to trust whatever the sort of regime tells me.
Yeah. I read my holy book, and the holy book says the complete opposite of that. So you're making this up.
And also, I'm not going to name the holy book or the source I'm using to debunk it. I'm just going to say, no, that's made up.
Well, it's just he just trusts whatever. Like if the whole system is doing something, then that's good enough for him. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to actually look into it.
Now let's talk about Gabby and my good friend Lizzo. Lizzo works with my trainer, a friend of mine, Harley Pasternak. When Lizzo loses 10 pounds and announces it, the bots, that's a term for people, like, it's like telemarketer callers, like on Instagram, they attack her for losing weight because the media wants to put out a perception that being overweight is the new goal when it's actually unhealthy. Let's get aside the fact of whether it's fashion and vogue, which is not. Let's just, or if someone thinks it's attractive, to each his own. It's actually clinically unhealthy, and for people to promote that it's demonic.
100% right.
Yeah.
The problem with Kanye, and I'll say this, is like when he's going through his
watch your words closely, because Kanye is going to be the next president.
That's fine. That's fine. The problem is when he goes through his manic stages, which is like clearly he's going through one, in my opinion, over the past couple of days or weeks. He goes from like incredibly based to then like, yeah, like, okay, like
DEFCON 3.
Yeah, like, but then like it's frustrating because he drops so many great red pills along the way. And then like I'm like, damn it, Kanye. Like now I can't say what he said about being fat. Now it's like, no, this is 100% true, right? But now people are like, yeah, but did you hear what he said about the like, yeah, I did. Everyone freaking heard it. You know?
I did a podcast the other day, and me and Harry were talking about it. And at the end of the podcast, we were just laughing because Kanye's just funny. And I was like, yeah, Kanye did absolutely nothing wrong. And then literally 10 minutes after the podcast, I learned that he'd been like, yeah, so those Jews. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake. Fuck's sake, Kanye. You know?
Yeah.
But I did not know that one. As far as I was concerned, it was just this bit that Tucker had put out that it was all great. You know, it was all gold.
I love Kanye, and this kind of ties into what I was saying before too, which is that I didn't include the clip, but during the interview with Tucker, he asked him like, "Why did you make the White Lives Matter shirt?" And Kanye he was like, "Well, it's just kind of a feeling. Like I don't really have like a rational explanation."
He did. He was just trolling. Yeah.
Well, no, but he was going with like his gut. Like his gut was telling him, or something was telling him to do this. And I mean, it's right to do that, and the response to it is right. And like because a lot of people don't think white lives matter, you know what I mean? Like that's you see that through Twitter and stuff like that. So again, it's just this, to me, it just kind of speaks to this idea that like he might not be the most rational, reasonable, or articulate person, but he's touching on things that are true and need to be said.
Well,
I think he is actually pretty articulate, you know. Like if you listen to this interview, he's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
he's
he is.
Clearly
he is.
thinking about his words. He's thinking about what he's saying. He's not like ranting.
Yeah.
I do think it's pretty I'll just say it's curious that when he goes on the rant about they control the banks and they control this and then they control that, and then he gets his bank closed down.
All right, careful. Don't do too much noticing on the YouTube channel. Okay?
No.
Let me start off with two words. Made in America.
Brilliant, Joe.
Made in America.
The destruction of the Nord Stream pipeline, which I would bet was a U.S. action, perhaps U.S. and Poland.
Stop, we gotta stop there. Stop. Obviously American, right? Russia's not blowing up their own fucking pipeline.
Why wouldn't they just switch the button off? Why would they blow it up?
How can you threaten Europe by turning off the pipeline if you blow the fucking thing up? Like, that's your entire leverage in this situation. Like, there's no way. There's just no way. It's so retarded.
It could have been a natural, maybe a whale swam into the pipeline by accident. We don't know what happened.
Well, one of those things, narwhals or whatever, with the large pointy horns or whatever. Like maybe it poked a hole in there.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this clip, but this guy gives a really good answer here.
That's quite a statement as well. Why do you feel that was a U.S. action? What evidence do you have of that?
Well, first of all, there's direct radar evidence that U.S. helicopters, military helicopters that are normally based in Gdansk, were circling over this area. We also had the threats from the United States earlier in this year that one way or another, we are going to end Nord Stream. We also have a remarkable statement by Secretary Blinken last Friday in a press conference. He says, this is also a tremendous opportunity. It's a strange way to talk if you're worried about the piracy on international infrastructure of vital significance. So I know this runs counter to our narrative. You're not allowed to say these things in the West. But the fact of the matter is, all over the world, when I talk to people, they think the U.S. did it. Just to tell you, and by the way, even reporters on our papers that are involved tell me privately, yeah, well, of course, but it doesn't show up in our media.
Professor, I don't want to get into tit for tat about what did or didn't.
We don't need to keep score of who did and didn't do what. Let's just move on. No, that's amazing.
It was one of those, by the way, this is like one of those times where like, as an American and like, yeah, what they say about us is right. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, damn it. Like, obviously the United States, I mean, who else? Like who else? Putin did it he could have just switched it off. He doesn't need to blow it up.
Yep.
By the way, have they fixed that yet?
Nope.
Are you guys like burning each other alive for heat in the UK yet, or how's that going over there?
No, we're not connected to Nord Stream, and we didn't get our gas from Russia, so it's actually not our problem. We've got a lot of natural gas of our own, and we get gas from Norway.
So you're not having like huge an energy crisis?
We're not having a crisis. There has been increase because Norway has been siphoning some of its gas off to Germany. Right. So there has been a price increase, and in some parts of the UK it has been really bad actually. But I don't think we're going to have like shortages.
A German friend of mine was visiting last weekend, and he told me that their bills were going to triple.
Yeah, I mean, ours are double.
Like
basically.
that's
not so.
How do you even afford that? How do normal people afford that? I don't even understand. Privatized
people should be.
Well, that's the thing. And so, like, America blowing up Nord Stream, it's like, right, so you've just killed a lot of Germans there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. It's really interesting.
So this is a kind of an older clip, but I came across it on Twitter, and it really is funny. And, of course, we just had, like, the Brazil election, Bolsonaro now going to the runoff.
Yeah.
And
it does contain my heroes.
Be afraid of gays.
You big Stephen Fry fan?
Big Bolsonaro fan.
Não gostar não é a mesma coisa que odiar. Você não gosta dos talibãs. Tá ok? Nós não, o povo, a sociedade brasileira não gosta de homossexual. Nós não perseguimos, não existe grupos aqui no Brasil de caça de homossexuais. É bastante aberto no Brasil. Não somos o Irã. Não se condena a pena de morte, né? Os homossexuais. Tanto é que tem passeatas de orgulho gay. Estamos pensando em fazer uma passeata do orgulho hétero. Pensamos fazer isso aí, inclusive.
Yes, you should.
Sem problema. Você não será convidado.
Absolutely.
Você não será convidado, mas você vai.
I should be invited.
Você vai.
No, I should be invited.
Whoops. Yeah. His face.
I love.
He just laughs and laughs.
I love the absolute madman energy that comes off of Bolsonaro. Like he's just so off the fucking grid when it comes to talking. Like, do you see the one with Ellen Page?
I don't.
Oh, you haven't seen Bolsonaro speaking to Ellen Page? Holy fuck! I'm pretty sure that he's the reason she transitioned, right? Because she sat there, right? She sat there as like a Vice reporter or something.
Oh, it's kind of ringing a bell, yeah.
And Bolsonaro, she's just like, so, you're a sexist, whatever. And Bolsonaro's like, well, I don't know. I mean, you're an attractive woman. I'd wolf whistle at you. And you see the look on her fucking face is just like mortified, and it's just like.
It's almost as good as the other Vice interview that was going around, like trying to like soft pedal, creeps. And they're like, after the interview, he sent our producer a picture of his jump.
Yeah. Like, how do we reincorporate these people in society? It's like, well, some people can't be, okay?
Yeah, they're like trying to soft pedal, peds or whatever. Like,
yeah,
what?
So this is Russian propaganda for people who are fleeing the country. I don't know if you guys saw this.
В Америку летите?
Да, переезжаем.
Америка самая свободная страна. Страна возможностей.
А вы с мужем летите?
Да, мы вместе. Он сейчас подойдет. А вот и мой муж. Знакомьтесь.
Эмили.
Простите, мистер. Пассажиры позади вас вегетарианцы. Им неприятно, что при них употребляют мясо.
Мы же их не заставляем это.
Простите, но в США принято придерживаться принципа демократии. Позвольте, я это заберу.
Парень, тут очередь в туалет.
What do you want?
В очередь, говорю, ставь в туалет.
I want to go to the toilet.
Простите, мистер, что случилось?
Да вот парень без очереди лезет тут.
И что? Вы не хотите его пропустить?
Я?
Конечно, конечно. Его надо пропустить. Мы подождем.
Его народ долгие годы терпел притеснение белых. Мы перед всеми афроамериканцами в долгу. Простите нас, сэр.
Прошу вас. Вы не могли бы пересесть в носовую часть самолета?
В смысле, я один?
Нет, вы все трое.
Зачем?
Там сзади пара, а не child-free. Дело в том, что ваш сын попадает в поле их зрения, и это вызывает у них дискомфорт.
Прости, матушка Россия! Мы возвращаемся!
I really hate how queerness.
So that I mean, where's the fucking lie? All right. Sorry, but
I mean, it's a little bit absurd with like the you can't eat meat in front of the vegan and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but,
you can't eat stinky fish on an airplane. That's just not being a jerk.
Yeah, but no,
I'm reasonably sure that is a perfect model of California in that advert.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. The gist of the video is absolutely spot on.
Is perceived through a white lens, and a lot of the aspects that make people look.
That's because white people use queerness as a way to avoid being perceived as white.
So this is kind of amazing, and I've seen this take
that coming.
Yeah, I've seen this take coming more and more, which we've been saying this for years. I know I have. I've been saying this for years. Is that when it comes to, especially the more like, you know, non-binary or genderqueer or whatever. I know I made a video like 5 years ago where I said genderqueer is a thing white people do so that they can like avoid, so that they can be a minority,
criticism.
Basically.
Yeah. Or yeah, I would say they use it as a shield, you know?
Yes, yeah, so they can be a minority, so they're not part of the privileged majority, basically. And but I've seen more and more people now on the left pointing this out themselves, which is interesting because it kind of shits all over the whole born this way aspect to it, which is kind of an important aspect to the propaganda working.
So hang on.
They've taken.
Stop. So are they suggesting that white people think that they can say the N-word if they just say, "Oh, I'm queer. Don't worry, it's fine."
I didn't put it in those words exactly, but that's the general idea. The general idea is that, well, really what it is
they want to escape their guilt and
that's what I've been saying is that white people, especially young white people in these woke high schools that they have nowadays, they're told about how terrible they are, colonialism and privilege and this and that and the other thing, and they just want to get away from that.
Yeah. Bill Burr's got an amazing segment where it's like, you know, white women are trying to like, you know, hop over the fence and be like, oh yeah, I'm oppressed. It's like, no, bitch, you were gaining all of the benefits for hundreds of years. Get back over here. You know, if we're going down.
The label of being LGBTQ plus and turned it into a pseudo ethnicity. They'd rather identify as queer than identify as Russian, English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, because to identify as this is to identify as part of the problem.
He's right.
To identify as this.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Right? So being English or Russian or, you know, French or whatever. I mean, okay, being French is part of the problem. But sorry. Being just merely from a European country is part of the problem. Wow, that really is a mask-off moment. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, everything this guy, I know it is amazing because it's like what we've been saying, but they're just saying it themselves now.
Right. So it's literally Europeans that you're a part of the problem.
Means you identify as the originators of global marginalization.
cry about it.
So the more queer you add, the more labels you add, the more mental health issues you had, the more neurodivergencies you.
Yeah, that's true too. Autism and stuff like that, Tourette syndrome. A lot of people faking these disorders now too. A lot of young white people, particularly.
Well, for clout, I think honestly, I don't want to be wow, it's that TikTok, but literally, it's this weird echo chamber reinforcement of the neurodivergent community, or suddenly now 1 in 3 people have split personalities if you believe what you see on TikTok, or 25% of the American population is LGBT. Is this person
it's
a
like
woke
56% of Zoomers are LGBT?
Yeah, it's the percentage is
it's
insane.
more than half. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
insane.
okay, well, that's just not true. I mean, it's just
no. Jeremy, we need to dare to go further. I, for one, say that all Zoomers are gay. Okay? They're all gay. Every single one of them. Look at them. Even the ones who think they're straight, they're obviously gay.
Well, I mean, back when I was young, we just called it phases, or kids went through goth kids now, and now they're chopping parts of their bodies off for internet clout.
No, but I mean in the expanded sense of gay, as in pathetic, annoying. Words I can't use on YouTube.
Add the more anything but white labels you add, the more marginalized you become. The queerness for white people is their minority card.
Great.
Am I a social?
Stop. That's brilliant.
He's right.
So no, he is right, but it's again brilliant to have it out. Right. So to have a minority card is to be privileged and to have power.
Exactly.
And white people are doing everything they can to get a minority card, because otherwise they don't have privilege or power. Okay, great. Thank you so much for fucking saying it.
Yeah,
there was another clip forever.
There's another clip we watched with. Sorry, I'll let you guys go.
No, go ahead.
With Alex Stein, we had Alex Stein on the Progress Report. We watched this clip. It was very similar, and the woman, it was like a white gay woman who was shitting on this other white woman who identified as bisexual but was dating a straight man, but called her relationship queer. And so this lesbian makes this TikTok video. She says, "You're just trying to get that minority privilege." She literally said those exact words.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's a privilege. They know they have it. And that guy was trying to gatekeep, white people out of having
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I couldn't tell him. I thought he was coming from that position where he's like, no, this is my special power.
Totally.
You can't have my special powers.
Yeah, because otherwise, what's special about me? Then we all become part of the same group, and I lose this advantage I have over you. And brilliant, Say it louder, put it on CNN. I want everyone to hear that.
Yeah.
Or leftist. This is a Trackmania stream. I'm a racist. A racer, not a racist. It's not my first language. A racer. Sorry.
There's no one-size-fits-all puberty experience. If you're trans, intersex, or non-binary,
you can recognize the trans voice, right? Like that. I know just from the voice, that's a woman who took steroids to become male.
Yeah.
You can just have a very distinct sound.
Know that you're not the only one feeling confused. For some intersex people, puberty may start later than age 14. You might experience some of puberty's changes and not others, and your body may or may not go through puberty on its own. There are medicines you can take to help your body start the process, like hormone replacement therapy. Some people decide on hormones or surgeries to help their bodies match up to their gender identity, or how they feel inside about themselves. Your gender identity is real. You should be the one to decide what changes you want to make to your body. If you're transgender or non-binary, you may find that your puberty experiences don't line up with your gender identity, or how you see yourself. That feeling can be uncomfortable, scary, and stressful. If that sounds like you,
no. I just can't get over this. Your gender identity is real, but your chromosomes aren't. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you know, I mean, it's an old running joke, but people always say, like, what if you identify as a fire hydrant? What if you identify as a dog or a wolf or whatever? And they don't really have an answer for that.
Still works.
The only exactly, the only answer is like, well, look, they did studies that found that people who identify as the opposite gender are less likely to kill themselves. Therefore, it's real. And it's like, that's kind of specious reasoning. You know what I mean? That's...
And also, you're assuming that I'm against them killing themselves.
Oh, okay.
That you're not alone. There are medicines you can take to delay puberty for a while. They're called puberty blockers, and they work like a stop sign by halting the hormones testosterone and estrogen that cause puberty changes like facial hair growth and periods. Puberty blockers are safe and can give you more time to figure out what feels right for you, your body, and your gender identity.
It could literally sterilize you.
It's not a Band-Aid. It's not like a, it's like, no, I'm changing my body's physiology. It's not like, it's just like a haircut. It buys you more time. And it's like, no, it's a little bigger than that.
Also, we used to use them to chemically castrate pedophiles and gays.
I think they still do.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Identity. You don't have to have all of the answers right now. So remember, it's all a work in progress, and it may take time to figure out what feels right to you, but talking to a trusted adult and a nurse or doctor may help. Want to learn more? Go to PlannedParenthood.org/teens.
Learn more, go on TikTok.
Yeah.
Your tax dollars hard at work there.
I know you want this to be true so bad, but no matter how many times you try to do this, it's never going to be true. White people don't have a culture. Icelandic people have culture. French people have culture. German people have culture, etc., etc.
All right. What are those people white?
No. She's got a point.
She does have a point.
Well, she has a point, but it all depends on how you frame it, right? So those people are white, therefore their culture is white culture. Does that not follow?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I totally reject this. What Americans call white culture is actually English culture. Hence the reason you speak English, you use Anglo-Saxon legal codes, you are Protestant or you were Protestants. This is the English heritage of the United States.
Yeah, but
because you're English colonies, right?
Okay, yeah, the language.
No, she's right.
But it's
These are not universally white.
Where does Christmas come from? That comes from Rome, right? That's not English.
No, it's a long thing. But Christmas has been a part of English culture for a long time, right? And so
you're an older country. This is like the big bro. Like just because we wear your hand-me-down shirts.
No. This is literally about lineal descent. This is literally about lineal descent. It's why you don't speak Icelandic, right? You were not colonists from Iceland. You were colonists from England, and you have that heritage literally in the DNA of America. Right?
So she's saying that there's no black culture then?
Exactly. That's exactly right. There is no black culture.
Well,
there are African tribes.
She's going to explain why there is black culture. Actually, if we
okay. Well, if we just shut up for a minute, yeah, right.
Now, I will eat my words. If you could tell me about a time in history when white people were forcefully removed from different areas of the world, dropped off in one place, threatened with violence if they tried to leave, if they tried to speak their own languages, if they tried to practice any parts of their individual cultures. And as a result of that...
That has happened.
Yeah. The Barbary slave trade.
Yeah. What?
That literally happened for hundreds of years.
Try being Christian. What do they do to Christians? Like right now in where is it? I guess I don't know if they're white particularly. What I'm always talking about, there's always like these they carry out systematic removal of Christians
in Africa and stuff like that. A lot of those people are not necessarily white.
She's asking when have Europeans ever been oppressed, right? Europeans have been oppressed plenty.
Well, I mean, the whole premise is silly. The idea that that's what you need in order to have a culture, that you need to be forcibly like deracinated before you can have a culture based off of your skin color. The whole thing is kind of ludicrous. And also the idea that American black culture just sprang up out of nothing is also kind of silly. Like there's obviously influence from the Anglo, as you say, Carl, influences on there. You can trace those roots as well in a lot of things.
Well, do you want to know something that's really interesting, right? Like as an outsider, black Americans and white Americans are Americans, but Mexicans are not Americans. Right? Latinos I do not accept Latinos as Americans. Right? They come from the Spanish legal tradition. They speak Spanish. They're Catholics. They have different family structures to Americans. Right? They are not like Americans. They are actually like Mediterraneans. Like you guys are Northern Europeans, Anglos. They are Spaniards, as far as I'm concerned. And so it's always interesting how like people are like, oh, but Mexican Americans. It's like, so you have to hyphenate them. It's whites and blacks.
I don't do that though.
America.
As an American, I don't.
Sure, but like what I'm saying is the propositional nature of America is actually only so propositional, right?
I think I understand. It also from like the outside looking in, it's like I watched like some video yesterday where somebody was like, "Oh, I was in Europe somewhere, and it was like a black guy, a Jew, and like a white guy or something or whatever. I don't know, a group of people, and they were just like, oh, everyone just called us Americans, but in our country, they're called white and black. You know what I mean? Like, I get that concept. Yeah,
black Americans are very clearly American.
They had to come up with culture from scratch over hundreds of years, sharing two things: their skin color and the fact that they were being oppressed. If you can tell me about a time that happened in history, white people most certainly have a culture. But until then, white people don't have a culture.
Hang on, pause. That's really interesting, right?
If white people don't have a culture, how do you explain this video?
She got a great point though, and a really interesting way of framing it, right? Because it is true that the blacks who went to America were not like a unified culture. They're from various different disparate tribes over a period of a few hundred years. And so the only thing they have that's shared is the fact that they're oppressed and the fact they're black, right? Okay, fair enough. That is true. But the way that culture is being defined here is very fucking strange. It's like, because culture is just the character of the social interactions and activities that we engage in, right? Like, that's what a culture is. So anything you do is cultural in some form. The fact that Jeremy sat in front of a bunch of Magic the Gathering cards or something is a cultural expression, right? And so like there's no way you can say that there's no such thing as a people who don't have a culture. All peoples in all times and all places have a culture. And it's just interesting how she only sees a valid culture as being one that's born out of oppression.
Yeah. Why does that a requirement? That seems odd. Plus, I mean, most people, if you go back, in this country, like even in America, like how do they treat Irish people when they came over? They were white and they were oppressed and they were denigrated.
Jeremy,
and
we've just explained this. The Irish aren't English.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm not even joking. Historically, that's literally how it was viewed.
No, of course, but I also reject the premise of how she defines like culture need to be. But I just want to say, like, Carl, I also like, while I agree with you that you could argue that American culture is mainly Anglo. I get that, and same with Canadian. But white is just an umbrella term that is above that. So by saying it's Anglo, you're just drilling down to be more specific, but it's still white because Anglos are white.
So that's like saying
it's that simple.
Still, yeah, but it's also like an abstract category, right?
It's just a larger grouping, right? So you have humans above, right? So white people and black people are both humans, and so you could say that that it's human culture too, but it's just a more broad generalization, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not accurate to just say it's human culture, right? Because humans actually don't all share that particular culture. This is honestly the problem with the fucking Enlightenment in and of itself, is to try and abstract away from what's really like concretely happening and say, well, this is just human things, isn't it? We're all basically the same. It's like, no, these differences are actually really, really concrete and actually really matter. Like, there's a reason that the Spanish nations in America are fucking shit. And there is a reason that the English nations in America are fucking brilliant. Right? There's a reason for it. These reasons are the culture of the people and the institutions that these cultures produce. Right? The Spanish culture and institutions are shit because they're Catholic. The English ones are brilliant because they're Protestant. End of story, right? This is no questions asked. And this is why England now is great and Spain now is shit, Right? It's just a natural progression of the lineage of a set of ideas and principles that are played out through the behaviors of people over time. That's just end of story.
Yeah, pretty based. I'll give you that one.
Tell me, how do you look at that? How do you look at that and say white people don't have culture?
Yeah, well, exactly. You can't.
Okay,
so that is the Green Goblin gang. I think
they got a couple of them got picked up.
In
I
New
think
York City.
so far. Yeah.
Right. So we have an explanation as to why they're wearing the green suits, right? Because I assume they were coming home from like a shoot or something.
I googled it yesterday and I tried to find, because I had heard somebody say something that was really funny and I wanted to see if I could confirm it, but I couldn't find any confirmation in my googling. But what the person had said was they were wearing those green suits because they thought it would make them invisible to the security cameras.
Oh, I hope that's true.
I also hope that's true.
Yeah, they I wouldn't I mean, I would not. I mean, criminals have done some really stupid stuff so like criminals are generally not very smart, so it's entirely possible, but yeah, they were not like coming home from, as far as I know, I've seen nothing about them like being like just regular everyday workers. Like they bought these things to conceal their identity.
Jesus fucking Christ, people are retards.
Most of the patients that we have in the GEMS clinic actually know their gender, usually around the age of puberty, but a good portion of children do know as early as seemingly from the womb, and they will usually express their gender identity as very young children, some as soon as they can talk.
From the womb. It's weird how out of nowhere all of these children hospitals, all of a sudden all these videos start going around for gender ideology propaganda. It's really annoying too. I think I mentioned this, but it's like that's always like I don't give to charity a lot, but when I do, it's like if I have like an excuse to, it's like children's hospitals have always been one of my go-tos. And then now I'm like, oh man, they're pumping out all this propaganda.
Well, and they had those clips. So there was one here in my state that when it was like revealed, they deleted it off the website. It's like, why did you delete that?
This one was deleted too, actually.
This one was too.
Because they say they know their gender identity from the womb, which implies that
then why are they
children in the womb are more than just clumps of cells, right?
Yeah,
if they have a gender identity.
Yeah. Well, they also put this out at a time when like there was also that other clip that leaked where the woman was basically talking about how profitable the business of
There's so
surgically
much money in this.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Might say phrases such as I'm a girl or I'm a boy or I'm going to be a woman or I'm going to be a mom.
I'm a spaceship. I'm a ninja. You know?
Yeah.
She's not wrong there, though. Hang on. She's not wrong because, I mean, I don't know if you guys have got kids, but I do. And they do identify themselves as boys and girls, right? But that's
a social construct, Carl.
It is. But they are very attuned to reality in that way. Like, they obviously see themselves as boys and girls. It's not in any way confusing.
Yeah, no, I have kids too, but I have never had like my daughter or my son say that they're the opposite sex.
Exactly. So, they know what they are, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's because they have to be told that by somebody.
Well, that's the thing. They all of this stuff, they have to learn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you wore dress up one. You dress up in your mom's dress one day. Ha! You need to have a surgery. I mean, you weren't just playing. You weren't just being a kid. Chop it off, man. Get rid of that little cashew. Yeah. It's gonna hold you back.
Faggot, and you know what? I suck dick for cock.
Wait, what?
So this is like a furry convention, and then there's I think a trans person in a wheelchair, and it's just some great quotes.
Or I'm going to be a woman, or I'm going to be a mom.
You're a faggot, and you know what? I suck dick for cock. All right.
You're a faggot, and you know what? I suck dick for cock.
That is why most people do suck dick.
I suck dick for cock.
Suck dick
and
for
what
cock.
Do you do, tech job? Hey.
No, don't do that.
Not every day you see somebody in a wheelchair get assaulted.
Yeah, no, don't do that, dude.
I think when you're chucking the disabled trans person out of the wheelchair, you've probably lost the argument.
There's no coming back from that.
It's not a good look. It's not a great look.
It's already this is right here, by the way, culturally, what you see is the single most powerful human on the planet.
Yeah.
Trans person in a wheelchair. Yeah.
That guy's life is over. Who pushed him over?
Pressing charges! Pressing charges! Pressing charges! Hey, you attacked a disabled trans person! You piece of shit!
His legs kind of look like
They seem like they're working.
They seem like... I'm not a doctor. I don't know exactly how you get into a wheelchair like that, but
well, in his defense, it could be that he can move them,
could have
but just
back
can't
problem or
support
something,
himself.
yeah.
Right.
You big man! Come and get him, bitch! Come and get him, bitch!
Dragging his ass across the pavement. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna nibble on your kneecaps.
Come and get him!
I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl in the world.
That's a guy, right?
Grandpa, what are you doing, Grandpa?
Yeah, Grandpa, no.
That's all that you let me be.
Papa, no. Okay, that's funny. Oh, that's just funny.
Yeah, you gotta throw in a little bit of lighthearted
Yeah.
stuff there to cleanse the palate. So this is some new fashion accessories hitting the market.
Oh, it's counterfeit. Oh, nice.
Oh, what's this? Brap, brap.
Take it off right now. I am embarrassed. Those people are staring. Don't do it. Don't do it. Evan, please don't.
Do it. Come on, play this song. Yeah.
Oh my god. Happy Halloween, people. It's almost over.
I love it.
Yeah, someone in the chat said, "This is the husband I strive to be."
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with me. 4, nothing wrong with me. 1, something's got to give. 2.
Oh, that's fat.
Okay. Yeah, the Holocaust happened, but 6 million is a huge number.
Whoa.
And it's fucking war. Lots of people are killing people. The Soviets did it. The United States interned fucking Asian people. A lot of people were killed. And probably not as many as they say, maybe 600,000, maybe 100,000. And there are other horrible atrocities like the Dresden bombings that we never seem to talk about. And I just think it's really weird that we're still obsessing over the Holocaust 80 years later.
Holy shit.
So hang on, I'm sorry. I don't know how that got in there. That's disgusting.
So are we saying that Destiny Kanye 2024 run is on the cards here?
Well, you know what's crazy? That was only DEF CON 2. So you can see why they had to take Kanye down.
Jesus Christ, Destiny.
Alright. Thank you.
Are you ever gonna accept Sam Hyde's fight offer?
What? I don't, dude, no. Why are you fucking talking to me like some dumbass fucking weirdo Nazi? What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Explain yourself. What do you mean? You think it's fucking funny, dude?
Someone
you got some
challenged you to a fight,
fucking
I'm just
weird
asking.
you got some weird fucking deadbeat loser comedian who is completely fucking lost all of its importance on the world by fucking himself over, by giving Andrew Anglin $5,000 in his fucking Nazi defense fund. And you're going to...
Did
It's
they
not
ever
like
actually connect that? I thought it was like a... Go ahead. Yeah.
So a reporter asked him about it, and he basically kind of admitted to it, but it's because it's Sam Hyde, you never know, really.
Yeah. I think like I had him on the show once, and I was like, I'm not asking him about it, but I didn't even know about it. And I was like, damn, that's like the one thing that they say about him that is kind of like that, like, so I don't know if he really did.
Well, the other thing about it too is that it was kind of like a free speech case.
It was he was getting deplatformed, I think, at the time, right, or something like that.
Anglin was getting sued for harassment because he had talked about a Jewish woman on his show, and so there could be an argument that, you know, it's like, I don't necessarily agree with what he was saying, but I don't, as a comedian, a fellow comedian, I don't want
Come
to,
over here and sit down.
But who knows? I don't want to speak for Sam, but
yeah, I mean, this is a guy that's got thousands of hours of video on the internet, and he's never really said anything like, you know, crazy. So this, I think, is funny. This is not a great moment for the brofessor.
No, he gets really mad about this. He really hates it when you ask him about Sam Hyde.
Yeah, and he's such a baby.
The brofessor. That's
yeah,
funny, by
like,
the way.
would you see his old clips going
I
around?
did. I saw that on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, why are you asking? I also can't stand this is I don't know if it's an early millennial thing, certainly a Zoomer thing. When did, like, I always say, it's like they read that one article in like Cosmopolitan magazine that said people who swear more have generally higher IQs. Like, I can't stand listening to people who can't, like, who literally can't say 7 words without 3 of them being curse words. It's like, have some self-respect. I don't understand. Maybe I'm just clutching pearls, but like, usually when people talk like that, I just don't listen, because it's like, okay, you can't even slow down and talk like a normal human.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty bad for that, but I've been trying to clean it up. Because
it doesn't
come to me.
I just, you know, when it's just every other word, I'm like, no, you know,
you're totally right, man. I mean, I basically forbade swearing on the podcast. You know, it's like, and no reason. You know, YouTube doesn't really care if you swear.
No, they don't. Yeah,
but I just thought it would give things a better tone. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny. Yeah, it's not funny, is it? Do you like that? Do you think it's funny?
I would like to see the fight between you two.
Yeah.
There's no explaining.
I don't want to be around these fucking losers, and you should probably conduct yourself a little bit better.
She's so mad.
Oh, America deserves 9/11, but you need to conduct yourself better. Fuck off, Hassan. Sorry, I know I just complained about swearing, but fucking hell.
Yeah, this is the same guy. He's having a meltdown telling another guy who, by the way, remains calm the whole time.
Yeah.
Doesn't back down. He's telling him he needs to conduct himself better. There's another clip later, I don't know if you have it, where he like threatens, he like gets all like alpha up on this 14-year-old kid, and the kid's not afraid of him at all. He's like,
I had that in the full episode. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll kick you out. You want to get kicked out? Whoa, yeah,
guys,
easy there. Ultra Giga
if you run into Hassan, definitely don't ask him about Sam Hyde. Okay, that's
he really
hates
it.
Yeah, don't do that. That's just not polite.
Yeah. I would terrible if more of these clips came out on the internet. God, everyone would hate that.
That'd be a real shame.
Never do that, of course. I would never whoop someone's ass.
Yeah, that's true.
And these looters, that's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. I would highly suggest that if a looter breaks into your home, comes into your home while you're there to steal stuff, that you take your gun and you shoot him. You shoot him so that he looks like grated cheese. Because you know what? That's one looter that won't break into anyone else's.
Florida.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to give everybody a little example in Portland, Oregon. How much used rigs we clean up off the streets.
Holy fuck. That's clearly not one day. But
Each one of these is probably 100 pounds.
You say.
He sticks his hand in there.
What is he doing?
You couldn't pay me to put my hand in there.
Remember in the movie Saw where the person has to like stick their
Yeah,
hand in
that scene fucked me up. That's one of the worst scenes in all of Saw.
Yeah.
It gets thrown in. She gets thrown in the pit of syringes. Yeah. There's a serious drug problem though in America. And like there was the other clip of the guy that the dude who was all like zombied out. Like there's just a real drug problem in this country.
Well, there's like the guy, that clip that was like 2 weeks ago in San Francisco. He just like had a huge brown blowout, and he was just like laying on the sidewalk, covered in his own mess. I'm just like, God, man, could we just get a few more billion to Ukraine? That would really help fix all of this.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Do you know what the Taliban did when they took over, right? They went
drugs?
into Kabul. Yeah, they went into Kabul, found 100,000 drug addicts, and just picked them up and took them off the streets and cleaned them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument for like forcibly cleaning these people up. You know, few months in rehab, little bit of medium hard labor, some good eating.
You really would be. I mean, but the thing about in Oregon here, it's all legal. It's not even. You can. Yeah, Oregon decriminalized all drugs. I'm almost certain, or is it just Portland? Maybe chat will know, but like they're never going back.
Yeah,
Oregon's
really
drug decriminalization. Yeah. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? There's not even against the law. And the regular everyday citizens has to deal with this, you know?
Yeah, but even if they didn't actually decriminalize it all, it's not like the police are going to enforce it. You know, the institutional attitude is just fuck it.
Yeah. Well, it's because they don't have to worry about those people. You know, like it's like if you're tweaked out on the street, it's really sad that like you'll always see. I think it was one of the mayors in one of the city where Chaz was that
Seattle.
Portland? Seattle. Didn't he like move out of the city when it was like everyone's like, bro, wow, I thought the city was so safe. You're moving out of the. It's like, how do you sleep at night? Like you put you know that regular everyday people are getting. You see in like these New York videos where like there's a guy at Taco Bell yesterday. Did you see that clip? Just some old dude in a wheelchair eating by himself at Taco Bell, and some drug crazed maniac comes out of nowhere and stabs him in the neck.
Oh, man,
like,
I didn't see that.
I mean, that's got to be drugs. I mean, it's got to be. So like, it wasn't like they were fighting. It was just some old dude in there eating a chalupa, and this dude like doesn't have a shirt on, walks in and just stabs him in the neck.
I mean,
it's like I don't understand.
Like psychopathic, mentally ill people out there too. Like, drugs are part of it, but it's just cultural rot that we have that makes people insane. I think.
Use rigs.
What do you think about the whole stigma around OnlyFans, like being OnlyFans and being an OnlyFans girl, etc.? Which I think is like kind of dying now. Like the stigma is dying. Not using OnlyFans, but I think it's becoming a lot more acceptable because I know a lot of girls who, like Noelle, for example, girls who use OnlyFans and they don't do anything explicit. Like it's just photos that girls are already posting on Instagram.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like you have this like kind of bro jock dude trying to be progressive, but you can tell he doesn't really understand the talking points because he's saying there's no more stigma because the women aren't acting like filthy whores anymore.
Yeah, that's a great observation. That's really good. That missed me. That slipped me by. That was a great point.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the stigma around it?
I mean, I think that it's for anyone. Like, you can make of it whatever you want to. Like, you don't have to show anything if you don't want to. A lot of people have, like, cooking shows and, like, you can do so many different things on OnlyFans.
Can you stop
what do you do on OnlyFans?
Oh, she's about to prove me right, I bet. But like, that's always a talking point. Oh, it's just, it's just baloney. It's like 99.8% of content.
Tips.
Yeah, no, it's all porn. It's not cooking shows.
Yeah, so he just
shout out to that one cooking show on OnlyFans.
Yeah, nude cooking shows from chat. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it's nude cooking.
So he just said, "What do you do?"
I just have a lot. I'm like topless and I do videos.
You do topless shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew. Like it's like. Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Oh no.
Every time.
There's so many of these.
I'll talk to him if I see him.
Yep. That's also, I don't really know a lot about that person's TikTok account, but they had a really big following and were getting like hundreds of thousands of likes on their videos. And that's kind of that like minority queer privilege that we were taught, right? If that person wasn't trans, they wouldn't have 1 million TikTok followers.
Oh, for sure. Of
course. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, he see me. I don't even know them. I just thought that sounded cool.
See, hang on. Stop a sec. 'Cause I've seen this. This is brilliant.
Base Kanye.
Yeah. See, I don't think Kanye is crazy, right? I think Kanye is in a very progressive area, and he's actually really conservative. And so he's actually struggling for the language to explain himself, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
I do think he has his manic moments. So do you remember his like he clearly has what was it last year? We had like a breakdown, and he was like out in at Dave Chappelle's ranch or something like that, going off all these like, you know. I'm not trying to make excuses for him,
No,
but
I'm going to make excuses for him, right? So
Well, we're all a little manic
imagine if
yeah.
literally everyone around you was saying, "Look, man, the sky is quite evidently green."
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Every fucking person. Every
The
fucking
people
day.
he's closest and surrounded with
Yeah,
would be very
his
progressive.
wife.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at it going, "No, dude, I'm really sure it's blue." And they're just like, "You're a fucking lunatic." And then he goes on the internet and goes, "Look, this guy on YouTube says it's blue," you know? And they're like, "Well, that guy's a Nazi," you know? And so he's essentially being gaslit 24/7 by the closest people to him. And so I don't think he's crazy. I think that actually they're driving him crazy because they're mental.
Yeah,
is my view.
this world does it. I really think that. I really think that progressivism is a mental illness, and it's so prevalent that it's making people crazy. And you look at the rates of mental illness, and you look at the rates that people are medicated on, the rates of depression, all that stuff is like skyrocketing. And I think you're exactly right, Carl, that it's people having to convince themselves that the emperor's fully clothed, or however you want to put
and
it.
Kanye's just not prepared to do that, and so he can't.
Well, imagine having all that money too, right? Like he has all the power in the world, and he's like, I imagine they approach things differently. Like if I had $1 billion and I still had everyone around me being like, "No, dude, like you can't say this. You can't hang out with these people. You can't, you know." So like it's probably that's probably a force multiplier for the craziness.
Yeah, and like in the interview where he's like, "Yeah, well, I just really like Trump, and I wanted to tell everyone I like Trump," and they were treating him like he was a fucking leper or something, and it's just like, it's not that I don't think he's crazy. I just think he's surrounded by people who are totally in a cult, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
What was she thinking?
My ass has been the topic of conversation. My ass has been in magazines. Rihanna gave my ass a standing ovation. Yes, my booty, my least favorite part of my body. How did this happen? It's working.
All right, Carl, if American culture is Anglo culture, how do you explain twerking?
Wow. Lizzo explained it for us, didn't she?
Movement of twerking, I discovered my ass is my greatest asset. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TED Twerk.
Lizzo literally explains to us that no, this is black culture, and there's a lot to talk about there, isn't there?
Yeah.
We're not going to do, I imagine.
I'm sure I'm going to piss off both left and right, so I apologize. That the fetish for manufacturing is part of the general fetish for keeping white males of low education outside the cities in the powerful positions they're in the U.S.
What?
Those powerful positions of working in a factory, assembling
Those fucking
widgets.
rednecks working and having jobs. Those powerful... fuck off.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep swearing now because
it's
I'm annoyed.
infuriating. It really is.
Yeah.
And that is really what's going on here.
And as promised, here are your Scooby snacks. Jinkies.
so that's the new Scooby-Doo. And then this is what happens on Google when you search Velma after this announcement.
It's just so progressive.
It's grooming. It's all, that word gets used a lot, but I mean, a kid sees an ad for the news, or they hear that Velma is gay, and they go to Google, and this is what they see, and it says, "This is special. This is better."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is just one example, but we're bombarded with this stuff nonstop.
I think what Lido is saying is that, like, colonialism may seem like a thing of the past, but it's, like, affecting all of us all of the time on every level. And at the very least we can do is to acknowledge how it's created a major imbalance in our everyday life and society.
That's exactly it. I guess this show is it's really working.
They always act like you're meant to be against it. Like, you create a major imbalance. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm joking, but like the point is that there are so many presuppositions here that they assume you share, and I find myself sharing fewer and fewer presuppositions with them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, this colonialism bad. Just endless propaganda. Again, this is targeting children. You know, oh, the white people stole all the wealth from the brown people, and that's why white people built such great countries. Yada yada yada. It's just
because
never
you got to understand, right? Africa was just this land of plenty, where there were just massive. You know, there was huge industry. You know, massive amounts of trade were going on. Mostly
it would have been
slaves.
That's what it would have been if it wasn't for the white man.
But they had thousands of years. What was the hold up? You know,
well, they were about to get to it. They were about to turn their life around. He's a good kid. Yeah. He's about to turn his life around.
Next time. He has a very authoritarian worldview. He was against state-led lockdown.
He was against lockdowns. What a Nazi!
It's funny too because that's not edited or anything. She made those two statements back to back. She's like, oh, let me explain Bolsonaro and why he's a bad guy. He has a very authoritarian worldview. He's against the state-led lockdowns.
he wants Brazilians to own their own guns. You know, what a fucking Nazi.
I hope he wins the election.
Hey guys, it's Bobby Lieber coming to you from the future home of the LGBTQ plus museum. Everyone is really excited and totally getting along.
This happens to be Bisexual Awareness Week, and no one has acknowledged it. Lesbian History Month was in March. Nobody said a goddamn thing. Of course, lesbians get a month and we get a week.
Even when they make like gay propaganda, they make them look annoying. Yeah. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that's they made that. They're like, we're gonna write this scene. I understand it's comedy. It's supposed to be funny, but I think that's the idea. Oh, but it's just like
the point is, even gays didn't turn up to see that movie because it was boring and shit.
Yeah, that was the best part. Is when I think like Red State did an article where they're like, here's the number of self-identified LGBTQ people in this country, and like 1%. Even if everyone went to see it was gay, it was like a tiny percent. Yeah. It's like, hey, maybe don't blame straight people.
5 million.
Yeah,
it was really low.
So what's happening? Didn't you guys have an announcement? This is a little unexpected, but we are in a throuple situation.
You're in a throuple? Let me tell you what's progressive now. Being alone. I love my life. I love my freedom. I love my independence. That's kind of sad that I don't want to be in a throuple.
That's perfect, right? What's progressive now?
Cope.
Being alone.
Cope.
That's the future. That's what you're progressing to. You are absolutely right. Being alone is the future. Have
you seen these projections about just how many women are going to be childless and single, like in the next X number of years?
I haven't, but I can imagine.
I haven't, but I can imagine. Yeah.
It's very high. Like, and I'm I've just seen it floating around where it's somewhere between like 40 and 50% of X, percentage of women. It's like, I mean, that's what third wave feminism got you. You're unhappy and men are more than ever deciding it's just not worth it. And I have
progress,
friends,
Jeremy.
I know, but I mean, I have male friends who are high earners and single for like no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're single. They're nice people. They make good money. And they just say, I don't want to fuck with it. I don't, it's not, I'm like, well, I mean, like, dude, are you gay? Like, I don't care. Like,
well, it's
no,
hard.
no,
It's
I'm
hard
not,
for guys out there too. But you're saying these guys, they're just not even interested. Because a lot of guys, they have a hard time finding somebody with like finding a woman with kind of realistic expectations. You know what I mean?
Well, he says, I don't want, he's like, well, one guy, for example, is like his mid 30s. He's like, I don't want anyone with kids. That's my same age. And that's like, good luck. Yeah. Like he's like, I'm like, well, you're going to probably have to like, like that's going to be a tough thing to do. Like, not impossible, but you're
find yourself a nice 20-year-old.
Well, yeah. Or there's people that more and more are like importing wives from other countries.
Yeah.
Like they're dating outside of the country because they want more traditional women. And
I think I feel the need to slightly white knight for a second here, because probably because I had to make this compromise. But I do think that we have to acknowledge that men also run out on women, right?
Of course.
So men are also
single women.
Creating the single mothers, right? And it's not always the woman who is terrible, although
it's also I knight all the time, and I for like. Hey, when people are dumping on women who get abortions, I'm like, they didn't get pregnant alone. Like, there's.
Yeah, I try not to be too down on stepdads. Like, it's easy to make cuck jokes and stuff like that, but I think just realistically, for a lot of guys, that's a compromise you're going to have to make. And it's right.
It's not even a big deal. I think that whole I think people hating on it it's just I don't understand it.
Yeah,
it's people that it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I don't even want to be in a couple. Bobby, I had sex with that 65-year-old.
Jesus, he's ripped.
I know, it's like they injected steroids into Dumbledore. Oh my God, that's Aaron. He's very hot.
Gay guys are so stupid.
I know. But we've been smart enough to brand ourselves as being smart.
It's our little secret.
Do you guys remember that study that came out a few years ago that was like, straight men seeing two men kiss, it's the same as like looking at maggots or whatever. When I see this stuff, I have a kind of visceral reaction. I always think about that, and I think, wow, it's so crazy how this movie didn't break records at the box office.
You met a guy?
I don't think I'm his type. He's like gay Tom Brady. What are you into? One of these ripped idiots with no opinions?
No, I'd like someone who's physically very frail and won't stop talking.
And I bet he's as intimidated by you as you are by him.
I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, I can do whenever and I can do whatever.
Cool, whatever, whenever. GIF of Michael Scott dancing.
Office GIF? This person isn't gay.
Baby, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Before I get off a little bit, I'm gonna wait a little bit. And
my favorite part is when they don't turn the TV off when they're recording their videos.
I know,
that's like the best.
It's especially good with everything she's about to say. That's funny you said that.
Usually you also hear a fire alarm that has a low battery.
Yeah, the low battery. Totally.
Black women are the culture. Black men and women, we created everything. We just don't get the credit for it. We can take that conversation to a whole nother level. The toilet that you sit on, the lights that you have in your house and your home came from a black person. We created everything. Math, science, the first calendar, everything came from black people. We just don't get the credit for it.
Wait, they did is she taking credit for the Holocaust?
Whoa!
I mean, she
did say everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
It was a DEFCON 3 all over again.
Yeah. She's kind of debunking what you said too, Carl. I guess.
Good point. Yeah. I
get
stand
wrecked,
corrected.
Anglo.
Yeah. No, you're right. She's right.
Hello?
But yeah, so you invented math and science. Maybe you could invent turning off the TV before you film your TikTok videos. A little bit.
I actually
less
I have to dip, guys. I didn't know how long you were going, but
yeah,
you know,
no, that's
thanks
okay.
for having
I
me on.
usually go about 90 minutes. But yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Take it easy, man.
See you guys.
How are you doing for time?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I'm just finishing off some stuff.
Cool. Well, we got about 10 minutes left. Well, actually, it's only about 8 minutes. We got about 8 minutes worth of clips left, and then some super chats. But let me know if you run out of time. And we'll skip to the super chats.
No, I'm good.
Velma Dinkley speaking.
Hello, Velma. Do you like solving mysteries?
Yeah, so 2 things came out back, they're coming out back to back or at the same time. One where Velma is a lesbian, and another one where, if I was just looking at this, I would say she's black, but I think she's maybe actually supposed to be Indian because she's voiced by Mindy Kaling.
The girl from The Office, yeah.
Right, the girl from The Office, yeah. Which I had a. I'm gonna pull this up actually. So but also they made Shaggy black. Let me just share this real quick.
Okay.
Share screen. So here's the Shaggy.
Okay.
They changed his name to Norville for some reason,
but yeah.
But that's Shaggy. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was that I saw this article when I was looking this up yesterday. Mindy Kaling is shocked by backlash to South Asian Scooby-Doo spinoff. So yeah, so she's supposed to be Indian or whatever, brown, I guess you could say. Was Mindy Kaling always this fat? It's been a while since I watched The Office.
She was quite attractive in The Office, to be honest.
Yeah, she wasn't bad looking, right? Yeah, she
right. So now let's talk about colonization. You know,
yeah, well, we had a video clip
here.
Yeah, we had a video clip. Yeah, colonization. And last week or the week before, from an Indian girl saying that it's white people's fault that she can't lose weight because white people caused like a famine in India, and so now her genetics won't let her burn off the fat because she might die because of the.
This is some strong cope, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, they're really going after Velma.
Yeah, but I'm actually much more three-dimensional than that. Who is this?
That's the mystery, and solve it quick because I'm in your house.
A serial killer calling from inside my house? Yes, that's a classic, and that's my point. Why change anything when the classics all still work, right? Wait, you're inside my house?
Who is this for, too, by the way?
I don't know.
I'm sure this show will really do numbers. This is on HBO. I'm sure this is going to be a huge success. This is exactly what the market was waiting for.
There was a massive niche, and they were going to fill it. Like, what the fuck? Who was asking for any of this?
Yeah, I think it's like people really. I think they probably made this as a vehicle for Mindy Kaling, because I remember after The Office ended, people were like, "Oh, this girl Mindy, she's supposed to be a star. She needs like her own show. She needs her own thing." But it's like she kind of let herself go. She's not really that funny.
She's going to be a star. What we're going to do? We're going to make her Velma in a fucking Scooby-Doo spin-off. It's like, really? Oof.
Yeah.
You know, what a star.
Trans people are sacred. We are the divine. We're practicing our divinity by expressing authenticity, by enjoying our multiplicity, elevating our humanity, finding the unity hidden inside community, remembering our collective connectivity fuels courageous creativity, unlocking the blessed spirituality that we all seek.
Fucking hell, just shut up.
That's the Shakespeare Globe Theater.
Yeah, it was. I remember covering it. Like, just the ego of it. It's like, look, I'm God, all right?
Yeah,
like,
trans people are divine.
Yeah. Question for you. But just the thing, I agree with him completely, right? That's the thing. Like, you know, speaking about it in sort of essentially speaking about it categorically is like speaking in the third person, right? It's like, you know, trans people are divine. Yeah, but you're a trans person. So yeah, I know. So you can say I'm divine, and it's the same message. That's what you're saying. You know, you like it's oh, you know, black women deserve more. It's like you're a woman, aren't you? So just say I deserve more because that's what I'm hearing. You know,
Right. Yeah, Shia has a message for her.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord.
Based.
Say it.
I'm doing this for my son. The government's inaction on climate change is a death sentence to us all. The United Nations have said we should have no new oil. Liz Truss wants to open 130 new oil licenses. That's a death sentence to this planet.
Did you know your PM is co-signing the entire planet to death?
Oh, honestly, I'm glad. I'm just tired of living at this point.
Yeah, this planet's lived long enough.
Yeah.
The reason I'm doing this is because this one's a python, and as you see, he won't bite because he can't eat me, and he doesn't feel scared. I don't scare him, so he won't bite, and he hasn't got venom. Now that's a python, but it's very difficult from a distance to tell a python from a. Might have to cut him. He's biting my neck. I'm serious.
Chad.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, if I watch the telly, I should be able to. Can you get a close in on this?
Oh my god.
Is that Steve Irwin?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's been a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an older clip. I don't know why I threw this in, but it just kind of like calms me to see somebody who's actually masculine on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
An actual Chad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna let go. Yep. Perfect.
Does that hurt?
No. Sorry.
What a legend.
Yeah.
Gone too soon.
No, I want to know why you were banging on my door with a gun. You're not going to tell me anything?
No, do not. I tried.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You did not try.
So I had to look this one up to get the context, but I guess they went to arrest her husband, and they did arrest him. He's a father of 11 and he's a pro-life activist. And there's been a lot of kind of cracking down happening on pro-life people here in America. I guess the reason they arrested them was they did a protest where they blocked like entrance to an abortion clinic.
Right.
Which I could kind of agree with if that was done to everybody who takes their activism too far. You know what I mean? Like you have all these climate activists blocking the highway where people are trying to maybe get to the hospital, get to work, whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to get arrested. They certainly don't have dozens of FBI agents showing up at their home. You know
Although
what I mean?
we did just see that girl being carried off. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a Babylon Bee article that I saw the other day that said like Biden is letting drug convicts out of jail to make room for pro-life activists.
This is not acceptable. Can I have your name? You're not going to give me your name? You're not going to give me any information?
Refuses to explain these.
And I don't know if you saw this, but there was a woman who was canvassing, passing out like pro-life flyers, and she got shot. And she's like an 87-year-old woman. And somebody...
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that happened last week.
Looks like someone's mad.
Oh no.
Go cry about it, bitch.
Damn, son. These bitches.
That is witchcraft right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Hey Freddy, can I know what you fucking do?
Alexa, fuck him up.
It's all a big lie, though, isn't it?
I'ma make you swallow your pride. Oh, want you to make me feel like I'm the only guy in the world.
See, this is why the average woman doesn't think she's average.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
we're looking. Sorry.
And like the dating apps have made it so that they can kind of date above their league too.
Yeah.
They just can't marry above their league. That's the part
No.
they find out later.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like the average woman is 5 out of 10, believe it or not. But they don't know that they're 5 out of 10, and they're lying to themselves so often and so publicly like this that they don't even realize they're fucking average.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, calling these girls average is a
Well,
compliment. But
these
maybe
are,
the post transformation version, sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Silence bounced off the backboards of TG Terry Park this afternoon. The basketball court sat empty while a mother and family tried to comprehend an incomprehensible act.
Asia loved basketball.
Yes, she did.
She loved basketball to the point to where she died doing what she loved.
Monday, 21-year-old Asia Womack. She died after being shot multiple times. Police and paramedics found her near Dallas's Fair Park Grocery. But it was here, on the basketball court of Terry Park, Asia Womack played a game against a friend. Police identify that friend as 31-year-old Cameron Hogg. There's an arrest warrant for him now.
She's eaten with this man, she's fed him, and he turned on her and killed her in a vicious way.
The motive for shooting and killing Asia Womack, as illogical as it may sound, the family believes the suspect didn't like losing a basketball game to Asia and didn't like hearing about it. Police were told Hogg became angry after being teased by Womack after losing the game.
This is so senseless. This is so, you become embarrassed, basically.
I mean, either way, you're never living that down. You lost a basketball game. I know I don't mean to make light because it's obviously totally fucked up. But how do you lose in the first place? Come on, man.
You're gonna be hearing about that in jail for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking hell.
It's messed up.
Because a female beat you in basketball.
If you know where he is, where his whereabouts are, please
Come
turn
over here,
him
sit
in.
down, and get out of the driveway.
So, yeah, I think this fear is the most prevalent, though, is the girl deciding to cut her tits off. But listen to this letter from a parent. It's happening, Gabe. Your surgery scheduled for Monday, October 10th. That's right around the corner, by the way. And what do we got here?
Zoom in.
Maybe you'll have to use the money you were planning to use for your top surgery consult to help your cat. So she's asking money for her cats. Honestly, if you're going to continue to destroy the beautiful woman that God made you to be and that you are, I don't know how we can continue to keep giving you money to destroy your life. I understand that you are very mentally ill and have multiple diagnoses. This woman's grammar is brutal. Diagnoses is the proper word. But I know in the depths of my soul, more than I have ever been sure about anything in my whole life, that you are not a boy. You've been caught in a web of lies other people have told you about yourself and that you have believed. Evil and negative influences in your life. As your parents, we are living a nightmare. And it is all we can do to survive and keep breathing to get through the next minute. I can't talk to you on the phone because of the way your voice sounds now. And look, she uses this as an example of transphobia and religious trauma.
I tell you what, man. As a dad, that is my biggest fucking fear.
I know, it's really heartbreaking. And I trimmed this clip down and people can watch the full thing on my Odyssey channel or BitChute or whatever. But This girl was absolutely beautiful. She was a ballerina.
Yeah.
Just like amazingly beautiful woman. And then what she transformed into,
Yeah.
tragic. This is the last video.
Get out of the car.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Shots fired.
What was he doing?
Shots fired!
He's eating a burger. Isn't that fucked up? And the cop scared him, and so he tried to like drive away, and the cop just started unloading his gun on him.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, last I heard he was still alive. I haven't
Oh, good.
Yeah, but he's in critical condition. Like, he did get shot. And I haven't checked in the last few days, so I haven't followed up. The cop got fired. I don't know.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, probably should be a little bit more than that, to be honest. Like, that's a pretty egregious little piece of police work there.
Thing is,
I gotta say.
So I'm in two mind about American cops, right? Because they've got probably one of the shittest jobs in all of existence. But the thing is, you can't just go fucking mental like that. So it's one of those things where it's like, I appreciate that you're between a kind of rock and a hard place. You know, it's not easy, and there's no easy answer to any of it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that cop should be charged with.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Like he tried to murder that kid. I mean, it's just, it is hard, and I wouldn't want to do it, but you also can't just murder people.
Yeah.
That video is like way more egregious to me than the George Floyd video.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
It will not get the same kind of reaction, of course.
I was speaking in general, not in that particular instance.
Right,
right. American cops have got a difficult job, and because you'll always get people like, yeah, and look at this guy pulling a gun on a cop and shooting him, and that can happen in a second, and so this can happen anytime, anywhere, basically. So yeah, that is fucking scary.
Yeah, you'd definitely be on edge.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a few super chats to go through, if that's good with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm just putting the final touches to some Warhammer models as we talk. So
okay,
I don't really want to have to move. So let's do it, man.
Nice. All right. The World's Gone Mad sent $3 and said, "What a progressive panel, LP." Yeah, great panel today. Really happy to have Carl and Jeremy on the show. Thanks for the donation. Yeah. We got $10 from Anonymous, who says, "Sargon, get on Cozy. Would you accept an invite?"
Well, I don't see why not. We're on as many platforms as we can because we're a media company, right? So I don't see why I'd turn it down. We've got a Gab account you can go follow, which just loads seats _com on Gab.
Well, there you go. And Nick Fuentes is on Gab, and I'm streaming this to Cozy right now. I'm on Cozy, and the way I got on there was I just DM'd Nick. He has open DMs on his Gab account, and I just said, "Hey, can I have a Cozy channel?" So if you did that, he'd probably give you one.
Right, okay.
Anonymous sent $3 and said, "Sargon, would you get a Cozy channel? Would you accept an invite?" So the same thing. Thank you for the donation. Anonymous sent $4 with no message. Thank you very much for that donation. So that's all the power chats. Now let me check the Streamlabs. Glowy sent $3 and said, "This Scooby-Doo show is a tax write-off for the funder. He will get to say I made an effort to make a good show, but racist and bad people stopped it from being hit. So I get $30 million off my taxes. Yes." I mean, I don't really know how that stuff works, but that's basically that show, The Producers, or that musical. That's basically they intentionally make a bad show, right? There's some.
I haven't seen it.
I don't know if it's real, but
yeah, I haven't seen it. But I am starting to come around to the argument that there's essentially everything that's going on at the moment is basically money laundering. It just can't be incompetence over and over and over again. It can't be. Come on.
I mean, there's just no way that HBO show is going to do well. You know what I mean? Like, I would, if you could short movies, I would short that.
Oh, hell yeah. If I could buy, yeah.
Yeah. Glowy sent $5 and says progressivism is like moralistic Scientology with a dash of fascism and Soviet anti-Americanisms. Nothing against or outside of progressivism and only for progressivism. West bad because they did things everyone else did.
Yeah, totally true. Totally true.
Polyfrog sent $10. Thanks for the donation. And he says, if Jeremy is right and there's going to be a lot of alone single women in the future, maybe there's a chance to build my harem after all.
There will be. Because there will be a lot of lonely single women in the future.
Yeah. Invest in,
I mean,
also
there are
invest
now,
in
fuck.
cat stocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cat
Absolutely.
stocks.
Like,
Zero Depressive sent $10 and he says, Carl, you really can't help yourself from talking, not even when it's in the detriment of the cause you piggyback on. I think what he's getting at is when we were talking about whether or not like Anglo culture is white culture. I think that's what he's talking about.
well, I don't feel that I'm piggybacking on anything, frankly. I don't care what other people think. End of story. So I do whatever the fuck I like. But I just think that's an accurate description of the world. Like, it's not true to say that, like for example, the English language or common law, or any of the things that the habits and customs of the Anglo-Saxons in America are just universal to white people. And if that's the case, then white people basically come from the British Isles.
Yeah. No, I have to admit, you kind of brought me around a little bit. Like I kind of shot myself in the foot when I said it's human culture, because I was like, well, that's stupid.
Bollocks.
When you look at it that once you look at it that way, you realize that's stupid. Then you're like, yeah, I guess what he's saying kind of makes sense.
It's a liberal presupposition that you fell back into, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, hang on a second, that isn't true. And these things are particular to a time and place. And the thing is, it's even that the time is important as well, because like if you were to have colonized America with like 8th century Anglo-Saxons, it would have turned out differently to how it did with 17th century Anglo-Saxons, right? Because their culture wasn't all, the culture isn't static. It's changed a lot over time. So it's a product of a particular sort of lineage and time.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, sound off in the comment section on that one. Let me know what you think about that, what your thoughts are, because I'd like to hear what other people have to say about it.
Well, it's totally embedded in like the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Like all of these presuppositions are just basically English political philosophy of the 17th and 18th centuries.
Yeah. I mean, it's a win-win for me because I did my ancestry and I am Anglo genetically, which I already knew, but I did it just to get the finer details. And I have started kind of thinking of myself as Anglo more lately. There's more there than when you just say I'm white. You know what I mean? There's more of a history and a sort of a connection to something.
Yeah, because I mean that black woman's not wrong to say, well, what is white? It's like, well, nothing really. It's a skin color. Like, what difference does it make? Like Russians are white, but fucking hell, man.
I mean, there is an argument you can make that white people are being oppressed right now.
Sure,
it's not slavery level of oppression, but there's a kind of an animosity that's out there, right?
Yeah, and it would be impossible for it not to be, given the state of the left at the moment, right? They don't have any other boogeymen. They don't have anyone else to try and fight, so of course it has to be that they're going to attack white people. But honestly, I hate to call them bigots, but that kind of is.
Yeah. All right. M Pureblood Natty sent $5 and it's a BitChute URL. I'll check that out later. Thank you for that. And Meximan and Cheese sent $3 and says, it doesn't take a genius to figure out you shouldn't chop tits and dick off because someone is mopey. Unfortunately, the far left have semantic wizards on their side.
They do indeed.
Yeah, John Stewart. Okay, and I guess that looks like, I think that's everything All right, man. Well, thank you so much for doing the show. A lot of great insights there. I really had a good time. Shout out to the quartering as well. Of course, he had to leave, but I really appreciate him taking the time as well.
Yeah, man, no worries. Keep doing what you're doing. Like any amount of pushback against the left is always fucking good, no matter where it's coming from, really.
Yeah,
I find myself, siding with the extreme Muslims at this point, being like, yeah, well,
yeah.
I hate everything about your culture and the things you think, but you are right about the left.
Politics makes strange bedfellows. So what they say.
It does, right?
So I put links for Carl and Jeremy in the description for their YouTube channels and stuff like that. Is there anything else you wanted to promote or let people know about before we call it a day?
No, you guys know where I'm from and what I'm doing, so don't worry about that. But yeah, good job, and thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, thanks so much. And thanks to everybody for watching. We'll be out with a new episode of Can't Stop Progress tomorrow on Odyssey, Cozy, and Rumble. And then I'm back with the Progress Report on Tuesday. And my guests for this Tuesday, very exciting, it's going to be Scott Greer and John Doyle. So that should
John
be...
John Doyle's so good, man.
Yeah, we should have some really nice high IQ takes there. So keep it locked on iHypocrite, and we'll catch you all on the flip side. Peace out.